Good morning, 7:37 at AM 990. KWAM, it's Memphis this morning. Let's talk growth with Triumph Bank. Tracy Strickland and her guests. And this morning, here's your host, George Bryant.
Thank you, John, and welcome back to our studios. We have the 4th of July hangover. It's kind of like a hangover.
Speak for yourself, George.
Then kind of like, well, let me explain myself. It's a hangover of like sleeping in and eating too much, having a great time.
Absolutely.
But anyway, here we are. We're back, and we've got a week ahead of us, and a special time we always have on Tuesdays with Triumph Bank. Let's talk growth, and your host Tracy Strickland.
Hello, good morning, George. So glad to be here. I was on vacation last week with family in Oklahoma, and I'm glad to be back home. And great way to start off the week. So
it is good. You know, a lot of times we're revitalized. We had a little time off, and
yes,
you're ready to face our challenges and make something great happen. And in our studios, your guest today is Kelly Neal, and she makes great things happen all the time, doesn't she?
She's our retail banking manager. She has been at Triumph for over 6 years, and I wanted her to tell a little bit about her history. I know the past few guests that I brought in have been in banking their whole career, and Kelly is one of those as well. And the relationship she builds with customers, I think, is truly second to none, and it's what separates her and makes her so special. So
that is really good. Well, Kelly, welcome.
Good morning.
It's great having you here this morning. We're going to get in deep about what drives you to serve customers so well and how you got into banking. We got to take a quick break, though, and so we're going to take a quick break and get some traffic and weather. We'll be right back. You're listening to Let's Talk Growth with Triumph Bank on AM 990.
It's Tuesday morning, so let's talk growth with Triumph Bank. Tracy Strickland and her guests. Here's your host, George Bryant.
Thank you, John, and welcome back to Let's Talk Growth, Triumph Bank. And Tracy Strickland has brought in Kelly Neal today. And Kelly is the first VP of Retail Banking. And they say that you're a troubleshooter, basically. You go where the customers are.
I do.
I think that's what a great job that is. And you know, I can just tell by your smile that you probably do a great job in that.
Yes, she does.
I wanted to ask you, how did you get into banking since you've done this all your life?
It's kind of by accident. I actually went to college to be an elementary school teacher.
Okay.
And got a job part-time working at Boatman's Bank, for those of you who
I
are in
remember.
Memphis
Hey,
forever.
taking way back.
That's where I got my start, and loved it. I was a floater, so I worked at all of our branches. We had a ton back then.
Yeah.
And left there and went to a small community bank with the CFO of our current bank, and just fell in love with community banking and customers.
It is a difference. Talk to me a little bit about what you see as the difference between a normal bank and then a community bank, you know, where you fell in love with banking.
You know, community banking has changed. It's evolved. But community banking, we know our customers on a one-on-one basis for the most part. And you're not going to call our bank and get roped into the automated telephone system. You're going to get a person.
Yeah.
And so when you're having troubles or you have an immediate need, you want a person.
Yeah, absolutely. That's the way I always try to hit zero.
Exactly. Zero equals person, hopefully.
I hope for holding, by the way.
Yeah.
But anyway, so you're at Triumph Bank and you're giving off, making sure that you guys, you know, a great local bank that is your local community bank, and so you're right in the heart of that, and now you're driving the flag, I guess, to try to keep that personal service going.
We are. You know, there's a lot of new bankers at our bank. And it's interesting, our bank is divided, half over 40, half under 40. So we're really, you know, trying to pass that on down, our customer service skills.
Yeah, that's really good. I earlier, when we were in the break, you were talking a little bit about some of the things that you do as far as going to different banks and helping work with customers, also your, you know, tellers and just different people who have contact with the customer. But you also have spoiled your customers.
I have. I have some that have followed me for the last 15 years, and so when they have a need, I get in my car.
Man, that is so good. So you're really big about doing that personal service. What other things do you see are challenging or changing in banking now?
The one good thing about our community bank, and it's not all community banks, but we always had a disadvantage. Our banks didn't have the capital the big banks had to have all the technology, and now the community banks are really tapping into that. In our bank, there's not much difference between us and a big bank as far as being able to bank with us.
I know you guys are really have been, we've talked about it in several of the segments, so cutting edge with what you offer, to customers today. I mean, it's so impressive. And you even serve ice cream sometimes.
We do. On our 10-year anniversary, we might, have it more often. A couple of the new features, actually, that just rolled out the 1st of July. I know we've talked about our instant issue debit cards, which I think is one of the most convenient features that we have for our customers. When you open an account and you open, you want to have that new debit card, you don't have to wait the 7 to 10 business days anymore. You get it immediately, printed in all of our offices. But now, starting last Friday, we're providing that new EMV chip technology. So our instant issue debit cards come with the chip that adds that extra layer of security and protection for the customers. And you can even have it personalized with your own photo, for an extra fee. So that's the new chip cards are brand new for our offices, which is great. And then we just released our business mobile banking app as well, which has a laundry list of amazing things for our small business customers to be able to do anything you would do on your personal account. Pay bills. You can approve wires on those business accounts when you've got an accountant in your office that are doing the wires and ACHs and transfers. If you're the person that has to approve it, you just get an alert on your phone, and you could be out making a call or meeting with a customer, and you get that alert, and you don't have to be in the office anymore. So it's, again, banking anywhere, anytime at your convenience, at your fingertips.
It's
so
amazing the stuff that is out there, but you guys are right on the cutting edge is what I love. And I know that with your you have 4 locations in Memphis now, Poplar at I-240, Germantown, Collierville, and Arlington, all great branches. They're really and I'm sure Kelly, you're in and out of those all the time.
Yes.
We come back, we're going to talk a little bit more to Kelly Neal and Tracy Strickland with Let's Talk Growth with Triumph Bank. You're listening to AM 990.
Good morning, 7:51 at AM 990. KWAM, it's Memphis This Morning. Let's Talk Growth. Triumph Bank, Tracy Strickland, and her guests. As your host, as always, George Bryant.
Thank you, John. And our favorite time when we turn our spotlight on our business partners like Triumph Bank with Let's Talk Growth on Tuesdays. Tracy Strickland, welcome back, Tracy.
So glad to be here. So glad Kelly's here, and being able to really focus on that personal touch we give our customers.
Yeah, and I'm that's so exciting, to think that now you also have somebody that, that is specializing in customer service.
And that's absolutely right.
Yeah.
Yes, and trying to say yes to that customer and have those creative solutions. And I know Kelly's got some good stories she can tell about that. Yeah,
we're going to pry a story out of her about
no names.
all these great things that you're doing. But also, you were talking, Kelly, about some of the things that you do to help people. You're real creative on the loan front, and you a lot of times help people walk through those. Talk to us a little bit. You had a good story.
It's been fun. We've actually helped 2 of our young professionals who were ready to buy a house, but credit-wise weren't ready to buy a house. So we got really creative and able to do a short-term loan for them in-house. Of course, we had to get creative, and we took parents as guarantors, and we're getting them where they need to be credit-wise. And in 12 months from now, they're going to be able to refinance those on their own. Their credit will be where it needs to be. The loan-to-value is where it needs to be. And otherwise, I'm not so sure if they'd have walked into a big bank that could have happened for them.
Oh, absolutely. So many times I think I was starting to tell the story about it once upon a time when I had an idea I needed to go to the bank, have my presentation, everything. Went to about 3 different banks, and they, the first two or so were all just like, no, sir, Sonny, I don't think this idea is going to be right, or you're not quite ready, or you need to, go back home, or, that kind of thing. And then I walked into one, and I'm sure that's how it is when you walk into Triumph Bank, because the guy goes, this is a great idea, and got behind it and embraced it and said, man, we're going to make this happen for you. That's what you want
somebody that believes in you and understands your needs and goals and where you want to be in a year to 5 years, and being able to work with a banker like Kelly that understands that and tries to create those solutions for you.
Yeah, that's really
important.
great. So, and also you guys are work so hard when you talk about all the online opportunities that you guys have opened up, but you also are backing it with the safety issues, that are going on. What are some of the things that you see that is with customers? Do you think that they're getting more comfortable not to come into the bank or like that personal touch? If so, what kind of challenges does that prove for you to still keep that personal touch and not be able to see them?
It's interesting because I think age determines how often they come into the bank still. But what we've been trying to help our young professionals realize is you still need a relationship with a banker. You can do everything online, but when you have a problem, it's going to take a person to help you through that problem.
Right.
I think a lot of times to me, it's a voice, like we were talking about, you punch 0 or something, give me an opera, give me somebody, not a recording.
Society is now so accustomed to just talking to an operator or to an automated system that when they get an actual person who does care about them, it almost like shocks them at first. Like, wow, you really are going to do this for me. And I think that's what separates us from some of the other banks is that personal touch and understanding that you're always going to get a person. And we really do care about your problems and your needs. And that's why we train our bankers to be more consultants than just, I'm not here just to take your transaction. We want to be able to ask questions and understand you so that we can
good stuff. Yeah.
Give you some solutions. Yeah.
Well, it's so good having you here, Kelly, and I know you're doing a great job. So we'll just look for you at any bank.
You never know where you'll see me.
Any of the Triumph banks and 4 locations throughout Memphis. And Tracy, I know you guys are working on some great things, always giving back in the community and celebrating your 10th anniversary.
We are. We have a couple of projects in the hopper. I don't know how much time we've got, but I know we have Advanced Memphis that we had Steve Nash in here a few weeks ago.
Right.
We've got a teamwork day that we're going to be working on the land and getting their garden and their new warehouse ready. And we're also going to be sponsoring their Art for Jobs event that's in September. One thing that Kelly brought to us is the opportunity to work with the Memphis Chamber on their sound check program that's for young professionals. We're going to be a major sponsor getting to work with that younger demographic so we can be more visible to them and let them know what we can do to help them.
That is awesome.
Yeah.
You guys are a great community partner. We appreciate you so much. Come back next week.
Thank you.
Kelly, welcome back anytime. And Tracy, we'll see you next Tuesday.
Have a great week. Absolutely, George. Thanks.
Have a great week. You're listening to Let's Talk Growth with Triumph Bank on AM 990.